You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, questions about whether a highway expansion in Altamont could mean the end of a 97-year-old former gas station.
Plus, also overnight flash flooding left some Joplin streets underwater.
And flooding still a concern today. Flash flooding again a concern later today with more storms on the way. The latest in your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Blake Gully.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. on this finally Friday in the 4 states. And it's been, of course, an active night. We had severe weather last night. We had a severe storm this morning. Thankfully, it was brief, but still produced some gusty winds. And our focus right now is shifting all the flooding concerns.
Yes.
But we have the potential for some additional strong to severe storms. I know. Everybody feels the same way, but we still have those storm chances this afternoon and evening. The good news is, or it ultimately could be some bad news in the long run, is we'll start to see the rain wind down tomorrow. But then because we're getting ready to go into July, it means the temperatures are going to they're going to really climb. We'll get to all that in a moment, but first let's start with a live look from the Wesco camera at 7th and Range Line in Joplin. And you can see that, well, it's cloudy. Mostly cloudy, and the reason we say mostly cloudy is because you can see some of the sky. MoDOT camera 32nd in Hammonds, a little bit here, a little bit of it here. Roads still wet, so do be cautious. There could be some slick spots out there. But otherwise, for the most part, the rain has come to an end for now. We still have some showers into southeastern Kansas, Cherokee, Labette, and eastern Montgomery County, and spotty shower sprinkles elsewhere, with the main thunderstorm complex continuing to wind down and continuing to slide off to the east out of our area. Now, I ran a little too fast, so I bear with me there. Sometimes you got to move quickly, and I'm getting a little too old and a little too out of shape to be running as fast as I was. All right, 72 is where we're sitting in Joplin right now. Take a look at that. That's mild. That's very mild. 68 in Pittsburgh. Around the region, temperatures up north a little cooler. We got some upper 60s. You get down south, and it's been mild down south all morning. Grove is our warm spot at 76, but we got Veneta, Miami, Anderson all at 75 this morning. Here's what we have. Flood watches are beginning to kind of drop off. Other areas where we have the storm potential, not so much. We have flood warnings. We have flood advisories. You got to be cautious. We've gone over the whole thing. If you know your route is prone to flooding, you know where you're going and how you get there is prone to flooding, do your alternate route. The other thing is this weekend, we could have some rain Saturday. It's going to start to heat up. A lot of families probably want to head out to the water. Don't in these flood warning areas, especially for river, creek, and stream flood warnings, because those warnings are in place for a reason. Those water levels are above normal. Those waters are probably moving very swiftly. You can't tell exactly how fast it's going or how deep it is necessarily just at first glance. So if there's a flood warning for your favorite watering hole or whatever it may be, don't go there this weekend. All right, you don't want to chance it. We get too many of these situations where the storms are done. We dry out, it's hot, it's sunny, and people go out into these areas, and then we end up having news stories about folks that are injured or worse, swept away by these waters. Just because it's sunny overhead doesn't mean it's safe to get into the river just yet. So do be cautious and worry not. That chance will come as we head through the next week and we dry out. Our tornado and hail risk later today, very low, but we do have a 1 and 2 out of 5 on that damaging wind risk because we're going to have a front trigger additional storms. So again, we're winding down. Most of us dry from now through about 2 o'clock, and then we'll see thunderstorms begin to develop along this front, and we'll see them continue to expand, and they kind of lock in right along the I-44 corridor by late evening, bringing the heavy rain, bringing that strong storm chance as well. We're going to go mid-70s by 9, 80 by noon, mid-80s into the afternoon with those thunderstorm chances increasing. We're going to break down our storm threats and just talk about how hot it's going to get next week in just a few more minutes. Blake?
Thanks, Chris. It may be the off season, but for the Lamar High School football team, the teamwork still stays strong. KOAM's Kenny Foreman shows us how they're working to give back to their community through its annual trash pickup day.
We clean up every street in town. So I have a map. We have usually 9 to 12 crews working each year, and I just give them a street, and they clean up the entire street.
Every year for the past 20 years, the Lamar High School football team has raised money by helping clean up their community. Head coach Jared Beshore helps make sure no street is left untouched.
Anybody that needs just help picking up sticks, loading off leaves, obviously bigger items that they can't handle themselves, whether they don't have a truck or trailer, we'll pick those up if they need it.
For the team, the event is more than just about raising money, but giving back to the community that continues to support them.
They come out and support us every Friday night, unlike any other team we've ever seen, and it only seems fair to us to give back and help the community in some way, and this is one way that we do it.
For junior Gabe Johnson, the experience allows him and his teammates to get even closer together, part of what Coach Beshore refers to as the brotherhood.
We've had some crazy finds, couches, mattresses, basketball goals, all the fun, crazy stuff that you find, and that's always what makes it fun, and just the camaraderie of the whole team. Driving around town, hanging out, it's always a fun time.
And it adds even more of a meaning to putting on the jersey.
Coach Bailey used to always say it, former head coach, it's way better to have a football town than it is a football team. And we've had our good football teams over the year, but I think what truly makes the Lamar football program special is how good of a football town we are.
In Lamar,
Coach Beshore says that the team regularly tries to provide opportunities to serve the community they live in. Flash flooding swept through the Joplin area overnight, prompting concerns across the region. Heavy rain sent water rising quickly, flooding roads and low-lying areas across Joplin. Officials urged drivers to stay out of the flooded streets as conditions worsened throughout the night. The flood threat has since passed, but some roads may still have standing water or debris. Drivers are urged to slow down and use caution during this morning's commute. One man walked away without injury after a fiery crash near Carterville Thursday. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says a Chevy Trailblazer left the road, hit a driveway, then slammed into a utility pole. The SUV caught fire, leaving live power lines on the vehicle. The driver escaped safely and refused medical treatment. Crews closed the highway for about 2 hours while the fire was put out and the damaged pole was repaired. Fletcher Auto Group donated 90 blankets and pillows to patients receiving cancer treatment at Freeman Health System. This year's donation was made possible through an expanded fundraising effort, allowing the dealership to provide more care packages than ever before. Each blanket also included handwritten messages of hope from customers and community members, offering encouragement to those patients during treatment.
I just think it's really honorable to be able to do this, just because a lot of people are affected by cancer every single day, and so for us to be able to bring comfort to those that are in need of this, I love it. I'm so happy. This makes me so happy to be able to just be a small part of their journey.
Yes, and this is the 8th year the Fletcher Group has donated blankets to the chemotherapy patients at Freeman Health System. Residents in Altamont, Kansas are worried about the future of a historic building after KDOT expanded plans for a US 160 highway improvement project last week. KOAM's Olivia Moss spoke with the owners of Baker Station as they work to protect their town's history.
Beneath the peeling paint and broken windows is a building nearly a century old.
Here you go, giant Pepsi machine.
And full of memories.
A lot of people hold memories from when they were in high school or when they brought their car here to Tommy. Except for Monday, Tommy did not touch Ford's.
And while owners Cindy and Ron Vanderford plan to restore Baker Station, they are worried they won't have the chance.
So we were informed from a family friend that went to the KDOT meeting that they were looking at tearing down our Texaco station.
A recent public meeting informed residents that the US 160 Highway Improvements Project would extend through Altamont to US 59. The project is still in the discovery phase and seeks to widen roads and add sidewalks.
We haven't even done the survey through the city portion yet, and everything. So we don't know what it's going to entail and do to the Baker's building.
The porch of Baker Station sits right off the current road. The Vanderfords are currently working with a historical society to help preserve the station.
We are in the future wanting to restore this building back to its the way it looked in 1928. And so now we're saddened by the fact that we might lose this building, and that's what we're trying to keep from happening.
KDOT says they will hold another public meeting once plans for the project are halfway developed. In Altamont, Kansas, I'm Olivia Moss, KOAM News.
Meeting details will be posted on their website at ksdot.gov. The public meeting comment period is open until July 2nd. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, we have Southeast Kansas Special Olympics in the studio. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Aaron Fletcher with Southeast Kansas Special Olympics joining us this morning. So thankful you're here. But a bit of a wet start for you, a bit of an early start. Yeah. You can combine those two. It's a lot of fun sometimes. Yeah. So you got some events coming up, and it's not just the events we need to tell people about. We need some help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And summertime is always a busy time, but it's also a busy time for our volunteers. So we are in need of volunteers for our summer events that are coming up, and we'd love for everyone to come out and be a volunteer with us.
So you have, you said events, so there's more than one event coming up, of course. So in terms of volunteering, first off, what can a volunteer expect if they decide to sign up and help out?
Sure, we have jobs from everything from working registration to handing out medals to even being a cheerleader in the crowd. It just kind of depends on what you want to do and what needs to be filled too at the same time.
A little bit of something for, a little bit of everything for everyone.
We try to help everybody out.
So those that are interested in volunteering, I imagine there's probably a pretty easy way to get involved. How can they do that?
If you go to our website, it's soks.org, and from there you can click on the tab for volunteers, and then it will give you the spot to select your event that you want to volunteer. So our events for Pittsburgh will be right there, and you just click on that and fill out the form, and you're good to go.
Excellent, excellent. And you've got at least a couple of upcoming events. So what are those coming up for you?
We have state powerlifting and flag football that will be at the Plaster Center and PSU, and we also have a dance that's going to be at the Shriners this year too. So so that's coming up. And that's a really great event because it brings not just our athletes, but athletes from across the entire state to come on out and enjoy our area and enjoy the sports.
A lot of exciting things. Great to be able to have this take place in Pittsburgh. As you mentioned, bringing athletes from across the state to Pittsburgh. But that also just indicates that great need for those volunteers for these upcoming events as well.
Absolutely. We are going to have large events, and those events need volunteers. So we are very much looking forward to volunteers that come and are ready to help. And I've never seen a volunteer leave without smiling. And so it's a great job to have.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's got to be great to be able to help these athletes, to help these folks out, and see the reward. Because they're enjoying it, and they're probably just very glad to see you as well. So you can come and maybe even make a difference. You're volunteering to be that cheerleader or to hand out the medals, not realizing the difference you could make.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, everybody that leaves with a smile. And I have heard more volunteers just every year tell me that their lives are different because they've come here. And so it's one of those things of, yes, you're volunteering for the athletes, but you're also getting something in return as well.
So it's a win-win across the board. So again, if folks want to volunteer, what's the website? And real quick, when's the first event that's coming up, just so they know when they need to get in there?
Sure, yeah. State powerlifting and flag football will be coming up on July 17th. And that again will be at the Plaster Center, and so in July 17th and 18th, and then we'll also have bowling on July 22nd and 23rd.
Okay, so some big events coming up. And that website one more time for those looking to volunteer.
soks.org, and you just click on the volunteer tab, and it'll lead you right to the spots where we need you to fill it out.
Excellent. Aaron, thank you so much. And of course, if you missed any of that, or maybe you forget easily like I do, we're going to have it on our website as well this morning, KOAMnewsnow.com. Aaron, thanks for coming out. We'll be back with a check of your forecast and the additional rain chances we have right after this.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:19 on this Friday morning. We had showers, we had storms, well, more so we had thunderstorms. We had some strong to severe storms last night and again early this morning. I know the storm last night, they came into the Joplin area probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock. It woke me up, and then I also noted the lightning ahead of it was nearly continuous. I mean, not even nearly. It was continuous lightning. So that's why, again, we emphasize the danger of the lightning as it is. Now, Skywatch Storm Tracker, considerably calmer. So we got some light showers, parts of Cherokee, Labette, counties. It's starting to exit Montgomery County. We could be getting some sprinkles as well. Remember, Skywatch Storm Tracker, it's not going to really pick up on sprinkles, but the main activity, the bulk of the rain thunderstorms, actually now I'm in front of it, continues to push off to the east, and that's where it's going to stay for now. And then we've got another chance for some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon and late evening hours. Our tornado and hail risks very low, but we have a 1 and 2 out of 5 for damaging wind as we head into the afternoon. The better chances for these storms to kind of pick up in intensity is going to come after 4 o'clock, but we could see development as early as 2. So I think from here until then, again, a sprinkle, maybe a brief rumble of thunder is going to be possible. We're going to have a chance to dry out, which will help the flash flooding situation. In fact, flash flooding situation already being helped, but it will not help the overall flooding situation at all. And then the storms we're expecting later are going to probably cause additional flash flooding concerns, and you'll see why here in just a moment. So by 2, some scattered storms initiating, and then by about 4, we start to see them pick up a bit, so maybe an isolated strong or low-grade severe storm by 4. By 5, they're getting a little more organized. Still not many of them out there yet, but they're starting to pick up on that intensity a smidge. Then by 6, we start to see that front trigger a broken line of thunderstorms stretching from back into Oklahoma all the way up into our area, and of course points beyond that behind me off to the east here. And by 7, 8 o'clock, we get a good line of thunderstorms. And again, this is where we're going to see the better chances. If they're going to be strong to severe, it's going to be in this window from about 6 to 10, maybe 6 to midnight. These storms strong to severe, and again, damaging winds the main concern. Now, the other concern again is going to be not just with flooding, but with flash flooding, because as you see, some of these storms and the heavy rain just train over the same spots over and over until about 1 o'clock in the morning when the initial complex starts to push east. But then we could get some additional scattered shower and thunderstorm development overnight tonight into early tomorrow. So we're talking after 2. And while an isolated strong storm may be possible with this activity into the early morning hours on Saturday, I think for the most part that initial complex is going to take a lot of that energy with it. And so these storms, again, while a stronger low-grade severe storm would be possible, I think for the most part they're going to start to behave. We could have them linger into the early afternoon on our Saturday, but as you see, they're going to start to clear up and become a lot more isolated until they eventually move on out of here and give us the opportunity to dry out. The thing is, though, is we're getting ready to enter July. Now, I know tomorrow's not July by any means. It's coming up, though. And what's July in the 4 states? Really, what is June typically in the 4 states? It's hot and it's humid. And that's what we're going to start to settle into. We're going to start to miss some of these rainy days, or maybe not so much the rain, but the cloud cover, keeping us a little cooler. We go into our Sunday. Should be dry. We'll have mostly sunny skies. It's going to be hot. It's going to be muggy. Again, we have flood watches. Some of these remaining in effect in preparation, or in advance of, rather, the developing storms we're going to see this afternoon. You can see these flood watches that are still in place also line up pretty well with where Future Track showed the new development. Now, the other thing I want to mention quickly is our flood warnings and flood advisories, especially river, stream, creek flood warnings. It's going to heat up this weekend. It's going to be sunny. You're going to get a chance to go outdoors. I can't stress enough that while these flood warnings are active, stay away from those rivers, those creeks, those streams, any of those areas you go to if there's a flood warning in place, because those water levels are going to be high, the water is going to be moving swiftly, and too often folks go out and they're like, oh, it's sunny, it's hot. Well, this is a good day to go down to the creek. Well, it's sunny, it's hot. It should be okay, right? It's not okay until these flood warnings are lifted and those water levels drop back down to normal. So just be cautious, and remember, you're not going to have to wait much longer. When I show you the extended forecast, you'll know exactly what I mean, but even if you can't get out there this weekend, you'll have your chance. So don't chance it this weekend. Stay home or go to your community pool, your own pool, whatever. Just don't chance it at some of these creeks and rivers out there. All right, so an isolated shower, maybe a rumble of thunder. Otherwise, mostly cloudy through the morning, approaching 80 by 11 a.m. Our highs today into the mid-80s. We'll go into the low 90s tomorrow. And this is what I'm talking about. See, on Sunday, we start to clear out. On Sunday, we may still have flooding concerns at the rivers and creeks and such. But as we go through next week, those concerns will begin to drop. Temperatures climbing in the low to mid 90s. Heat index values next week could approach 100 to 105. So make sure you're prepared for that as well. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Top of today's Health Watch. There are a rising number of people with eating disorders abusing popular weight loss drugs. A new study found that people with eating disorders like anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating use GLP weight loss drugs at a rate 15% higher than those in general population. The study also warns about the rise in the use of knockoff GLP drugs as well. So-called yo-yo dieting may not be as bad for you as previously thought. A study in Denmark found that losing weight and then regaining it doesn't harm the body or metabolism. Researchers say even if weight loss is temporary, the benefits outweigh the potential risk of eventually putting the pounds back on. We hear a lot about the damage social media does to young people, but a new study shows it's having a negative effect on older people as well. A study in Canada found that the use of social media, maybe for people over 55, can harm their mental health. The biggest factors that impact mental health negatively are viewing distressing content and comparing yourself to others. And that's Health Watch. We'll be back right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently just after 7:30 a.m. I'm Blake Gully. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are going to begin with a look outside so you don't have to. Downtown Pittsburgh, we got some folks working out there down what would be about 3rd Street from Newcastle College of Business, which is, by the way, that place looks phenomenal. Even just from this view, it looks phenomenal. I think we just had some birds go by, but we otherwise have cloudy skies, mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. Westco camera 7th and Range line, and the same from the MoDOT camera 32nd in Hammonds Boulevard. Those little sprinkles and showers continue to wind down across the area, so the Skywatch Storm Tracker compared to earlier this morning, compared to last night, considerably calmer for us. Quick look at the numbers. Sitting at 72 in Joplin, 70 in Pittsburgh, and around the region. Take a look. We've been in the upper 70s, or at least mid to almost upper 70s. Down south for a while, Miami and Grove, both the warm spots at 76. Up north, a little cooler. We got some 68s, Chanute, Iola, and Yates Center. We do also have flood watches. These flood watches are here because we're going to see another round of strong to potentially severe storms this afternoon and evening. Flood warnings. For heaven's sake, turn around, don't drown. I've been looking. I haven't seen any major reports in our area from folks getting caught up in the flooding. I'm proud of you. I want it to stay that way. I've been seeing reports to our west. I've been seeing reports to our east. I want our folks here in our neck of the woods to continue to be safe and to continue to remember, turn around, don't drown. Don't go down to the river. Don't go check it out. Stay where it's safe. Avoid those flooded roadways. I don't want to see reports from our area. We tell you guys so many times. You probably are annoyed by us telling you so many times, but if it works and we can stick with 0 reports of stranded vehicles or people getting caught up in the floodwaters, that's the way we want it to be. Now, I know, flash floods gets into your neighborhood, your home. You can't pick up your home and move it necessarily, but let's make sure with your car you can control the vehicle and you can turn around and not drown. That's what we want you to do. Our severe threat, tornado, hail risks low, but we do have a 1 and 2 out of 5 for damaging winds that could be 60, 70 miles an hour as, again, we head into the afternoon. We're going to continue with mostly cloudy skies, a stray shower, maybe even a brief rumble of thunder possible from now until this afternoon. By 2, we start seeing scattered storms developing. By 4, they're starting to get a little more organized, strong, maybe low-grade severe. And then by about 6 to 8, we get this line of storms, and this is where our severe threat's going to ramp up a bit for those damaging winds right along and north of I-44. And the other concern is we get a lot of training and redeveloping of these storms, so flash flooding is going to become a concern yet again along the I-44 corridor late this evening, so you need to be cautious. We're going to go mid-70s by 9, about 80 by noon. Our high is still going to climb into the mid-80s, but we're going to get those thunderstorms working in here again later tonight. We're going to break down details on those thunderstorms and the heat that's on the way here in just a few more minutes. Blake?
Thanks, Chris. Delaware County Sheriff put out a warning to turn around, don't drown. This is in reference to significant flooding of the county's roads due to recent heavy rain. It does not take a large amount of water to push a car off the road. The Facebook post also alerted drivers that going around closure signs can lead to fines and court costs. Officials are warning residents about a swimming advisory in Grand Lake. The advisory is due to high bacterial levels in the northern parts of the Grand Lake. However, the GRDA says their tests in other portions of the lake do not indicate a problem. These bacteria are indicators for other bacteria and pathogens that may be present. The advisory will remain in place until further testing indicates the bacteria level is safe for swimming. If you are at or planning a trip to Grand Lake, officials recommend the following. Avoid ingesting water, swimming with open cuts, or when ill. And after swimming or water contact, bathe well. And swimming or water contact activities in the northern parts of Grand Lake are discouraged due to increased public health risk. Pittsburgh has announced 2 free family fishing nights when people can fish free of charge without a license. And the city will even provide equipment. Mark your calendars. And the first family fishing night will be June 30th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Lakeside Park. And the other will be July 9th at Lincoln Park from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. All children must be accompanied by an adult. Registration is not required. The city of Lamar, Missouri has released an update on plans for a new pool. You might recall the existing pool was forced to close due to severe leaks and other structural issues. In November, voters passed a half-cent sales tax to fund construction of a new pool and began collecting that tax in the second quarter of this year. Well, the city now says the company Water's Edge is working on the new pool design with some new options on how to repurpose the current bathhouse. They hope to have finalized plans approved in time for the city being accepting bids by February. The city plans to have the pool open by the summer of 2028. The Joplin Humane Society is teaming up with Pyro Penny to offer something different this 4th of July, a silent fireworks stand in Webb City. The stand on West 4th Street sells sparklers, colorful smoke balls, and calming treats for pets. Animal shelters nationwide see more lost pets in the days after the 4th of July than any other time of year. And the Humane Society is using proceeds from the stand to cover reclaiming fees for those animals. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up, we have Shannon Becker's top 3 stories of the week.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News here on Fox 14. Now, ordinarily, Shannon Becker would be right here with us on one of the sides of this couch. Unfortunately, due to a few technical difficulties, plus everything else he's been doing, he's not here with us, but that's all right. We're going to channel our inner Shannon Becker for you and bring you the big 3 news stories of the week. So here we go. Number 3, a fireworks tent that went up in flames. Take a look at that. It looks cool, but is also quite dangerous. This was in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma on Saturday night. It's just before 9 o'clock. Crews were called to this fire near East Kenosha Street and South 236th East Avenue. They arrived to find that fireworks stand fully engulfed with fireworks actively detonating on the scene. Firefighters were able to get it under control pretty quickly, and in about just 20 minutes, no reports of any injuries from that. Number 2 for you today, Joplin native and Jackass star Preston Lacey returning home yesterday as the new film Jackass Best and Last opens in theaters. Very cool. There's a lot of celebrities, by the way, a long history of them in our area. Preston Lacey, though, one of many. He spent some time at B&B movie theaters at 6 and then again at Regal North Star at 7 for the premiere of the movie. He was signing autographs, talking with fans. He's a Neosho High School graduate, and he signed things while those supplies lasted. Very cool stuff. Very cool guy, and very cool. Again, just to have this celebrity right here. And look, everybody enjoyed meeting him. Number 1, this one gets you. All right, if you're from the area, it certainly does. After 53 years, Granny Schaefer's has announced that they are closing permanently on July 12th. This is their last location here. Is on North Range Line. That one's been there for quite some time now. I know at some point when I was growing up, there were ultimately 2 or 3 of them. There was one on 7th and Murphy / Illinois, and then they had that one on West 7th in that shopping center when they built the new super center years ago. They did announce this on their Facebook page, expressing gratitude to their supporters. They'll have additional updates and announcements. If you've been out there, didn't get a chance to eat, or you want one more time for Granny's homemade pies or any of their food, now's time to do it before they close permanently again on July 12th. And our bonus story, and this, of course, occurring last night, is again what Shannon's been up to here. Take a look at this bridge, that railroad bridge. It's over by Dover Hill and Landreth Park. So you go down Murphy if you're heading west. The bridge clearance, by the way, on that's 10 feet, and that water is almost to the base. That last car you saw, that's 4th and Range Line. It's a spot under that railroad bridge that people don't think about often, but it dips really down low, and it is prone to flash flooding. That's, again, Murphy Boulevard there. And look at that, look at the debris. There's that sign, 10 feet, 6 inches, and look how deep that water is, guys. All right, and keep in mind that there's a little bit of a drop-off, too, for the creek itself underneath there. So this is why we emphasize turn around, don't drown, and we want you to continue to do that because storms later today into the late evening hours could bring additional flash flooding concerns to the area. We're going to talk about that in your full forecast right after this.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News just after 7:45. On what was a long day for many folks out there. We had severe weather, severe storms last night. We had one this morning about, I guess it was about 2:45. And the warning close to 3. The warning was short-lived. It was a surge on a leading edge of storms that was moving southeast and then pushed east, and when it did so, that wind surge gave it a Boeing shape, and it produced some gusty winds for a bit out there. But as you can see, aside from a couple of sprinkles here or there, the Skywatch Storm Tracker for now is clear. But it will not remain that way, unfortunately. I wish I had more, better news. I guess the only good news is this rain will eventually come to an end, but not today. But eventually sometime tomorrow. We do have the chance again for strong to potentially severe storms late this afternoon into the evening hours. We have a very low tornado and hail threat, but we do have that level 1 and 2 out of 5 on the damaging wind risk. So we're talking 60, maybe 70 mile an hour wind gusts are going to be possible with the storms I'm about to show you. All right, from here to about 2. Again, an isolated shower, maybe a rumble of thunder will be possible out there, but most of us are going to dry out a bit. And then by 2, we start to see a few more of these showers, a couple of thunderstorms popping up. By 4, that's when we start seeing slightly more organized storms. So we're talking strong, maybe low-grade severe initially, but this will continue to grow upscale. These storms, meaning the storms will just get bigger, they'll intensify. And that's going to increase, of course, that severe risk, which, again, our primary concern is the damaging winds. And you remember where that risk area was, even the 1 out of 5, right about through here, lining up almost perfectly with where storm development is expected. By 6, we start to see a few more storms because now along the front, we're getting the storm development. Somewhat broken line, but back from Osage County in Oklahoma, stretching all the way back off to the east and almost riding right along I-44. It's just north, really, of the I-44 corridor. By Between 6 and 8, these thunderstorms get a little more organized, so this will kind of increase that damaging wind risk and increase that severe threat a bit. You can see we've got a pretty good looking line of thunderstorms here by 8. Now, here's the other problem we're going to run into. First off, these thunderstorms very likely are going to produce some heavy rain, which can cause flash flooding on its own and only exacerbate existing flooding conditions that are already out there. The problem is they don't move a lot. We get a lot of redevelopment and a lot of training of these storms as we head into the late evening hours. And so that's going to increase that flash flooding risk along the I-44 corridor as we head into the late evening hours. So if you're heading out for a Friday night, you need to be extremely careful. Because Joplin and Kidd, for example, where we don't have significant issues with flooding within the city from rivers or anything, but there's a lot of low-lying areas and some poor drainage areas here and there can easily flood. So if you're heading out really anywhere where these storms are, you need to be cautious and be prepared to turn around, don't drown. I'm going to say it 100 times probably in the next day and a half, but just turn around, don't drown. Once that initial complex starts to push out, which it will finally do so after midnight, we could get some additional storm development about 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. While these storms could be strong to low-grade severe, I think that threat's going to become considerably more isolated. We're going to just be looking at thunderstorms. I think most of them should be behaved, or they should behave at least, as we go through the early morning hours. But we start our Saturday with some scattered shower and thunderstorm chances. As we head into the afternoon, we start to do some clearing, but the southern half of our area could still get a stray shower or storm through about 5, and then that's going to do it. It's going to be done. So a reminder, flood watches, and again, thinking of where we just showed you the future tracking those storms, these flood watches continuing in that zone where heavy rain is going to be possible. Flood warnings, flood advisories, river flood warnings. Don't go down there. I know it's going to be hot this weekend. It's going to be sunny eventually by Sunday, and that doesn't mean that these waters have receded enough to make it safe to go down to. As long as these flood warnings, especially the River Creek stream flood warnings, are in place, you need to avoid those areas. Once those flood warnings are lifted and they start seeing those water levels drop, that's when you can at least check it out, but still make sure it's safe to enter because the water can still be moving very swiftly. So please be cautious across the area as we head through our weekend. All right, again, isolated shower storm in the morning hours, mid-70s to begin, about 80 by 11. We're going to have highs today into the mid-80s, low 90s. Those start working in as we roll into next week. The rain goes away for a bit. Could get an isolated storm on the 4th, still several days away, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. But our heat index values are going to start climbing this weekend as well. It could be 100 to 105 in some cases, so make sure you're prepared for that side of all of this as well. Let's check your forecast. We are back with the Hollywood Minute right after this.
Movie and music news now. Here's Douglas Hyde with today's Hollywood Minute.
You really can't help yourself, can you?
Hell to the no, I can't.
Donkey returns to the big screen next year in Shrek 5, and it looks like we'll be seeing even more of him after that. A solo Donkey origin story's in the works and set to hit the big screen in 2028. Eddie Murphy will be back, of course, to lend his voice to the Shrek sidekick.
Everyone had this same experience, except I was the one that could stand on the soapbox and articulate what we were going through.
Jay-Z reunites with collaborator and legendary music producer Rick Rubin for a candid conversation in Jay-Z in 8. The 8-part documentary series debuts on HBO Max this fall and takes an in-depth look at the iconic rapper's life and music. Miranda Lambert is cooking with Crisco. That's the name of her upcoming album, which now has a release date, October 2nd. The country star's 12-track set is inspired by everything from honky-tonk to disco. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
And I'm looking forward to the Shrek movie. And that's it. We'll be back right after this. This is your Wake Up Recap for June 26th. Your top stories to start your day. Heavy rain sent water rising quickly, flooding roads and low-lying areas across Joplin. Officials urged drivers to stay out of the flooded streets as conditions worsened throughout the night. The flood threat has since passed, but some roads may still have standing water or debris. Drivers are urged to slow down and use caution during this morning's commute. One man walked away without an injury after a fiery crash earlier this week in Carterville, Missouri. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says a Chevy Trailblazer left the road, hit a driveway, and then slammed into a utility pole. The SUV caught fire, leaving live power lines on the vehicle. The driver escaped safely and refused medical treatment. Crews closed the highway for about 2 hours while the fire was put out and the damaged pole was repaired. Residents of Altamont, Kansas are worried about the future of Baker Station after KDOT expanded plans for the US 160 highway improvement project last week. At a public meeting, KDOT said the project would extend through the town to US 59. The project is still in the discovery phase, but residents fear wider lanes and added sidewalks could mean could mean the former gas station at the local landmark dating back to 1928 could be no more. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And for our weather today, we have that chance for some strong to potentially severe thunderstorms yet again as we head into the afternoon. The best chances are going to be along and south of I-44, and the window is looking to be again after, let's say, 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll be in the mid-80s otherwise and breezy, with aside from our thunderstorm chances, as damaging winds are the main concern. While scattered storms overnight tonight and possibly to the first half of our Saturday, we're going to start to clear out and heat up across the area. Temperatures low 90s, heat index values 100, 105. So after we go from the flooding and rain and all this, we're going to go to potentially dangerous heat.
Yeah, the heat is coming in.
It certainly is. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We're back with more news and weather today at noon.